Now, if you were to go on Google right now and search up what's the average profit margin for most e-commerce brands, it's about 10%, right? Today, I'm gonna show you how to break out the 10% profit margin gel in this video. Now, the obvious ways are of course gonna be to make better ads, right? Sell more expensive stuff or cut costs where you can, but you know, these are very vague, and of course, there's gonna be a limit to each, right? You can't sell something too expensive, otherwise not enough people are gonna buy. You know, you're always gonna reach a limit with ads, and you're always gonna reach a limit of how much cost you can cut, right? So these are obvious, right? And I'm sure you've already done it, but there's a limit to these. So the first way we increase profit margin is by price testing, right? If you could sell the exact same thing, but you sell it for more, why wouldn't you? But the issue is, you of course won't know how much you can actually sell it for without it affecting your price too much, which is why the only way to find out how your customers respond to it is by A/B testing the price. So an example of this would be, let's say your current product price is about $10 and you want to test increasing it to 15. Now, this might not be the case for you, right? What we usually do would recommend testing 20% below and 20% above, and you split traffic between the three. So the 20% below your current price and 20% above, and splitting traffic 33% to each, right? But for this example, just to make things simple, let's say current price is $10 and you're testing 15. So you're splitting traffic 50-50 between these two. And let's say the $10 product, let's say the $10 price is giving you a 3% conversion rate, right? And the $15 price is giving you a 1.8% conversion rate. So now here's how you can actually understand the result and see if, you know, which one's better, right? Is the $15 price better or the $10 price better for you? So as you can see, what you do is $10 times the 2% will give you, that'll be 20 cents per visitor. And then the $15 times the 1.8% conversion rate will give you 27 cents per visitor, which means that, you know, going with the $15 and slightly decreasing your conversion rate is going to mean you get a 35% increase per visitor, right? So per visitor is going to spend 35% more. So now when this test reaches statistical significance, that means $15 price point is going to be the winner. You might get a 10% less conversion rate, but you know, people are spending 50% more, right, per purchase. That 10% decrease in conversion rate, right, is going to be way less than the 50% increase in price. So that's going to make it viable. Now, of course, let's switch this around and let's say the conversion rate went down more than, let's say, 30-40%, or your conversion rate got affected really badly, then you know that 15 is too much, right? You might then try 13, you know, 12, etc. But you can keep testing until you come up with a perfect price point for your product or products. Now, number 2 is going to be subscriptions and bundles. Now, a lot of brands that could be using this, like supplements, right? Creams and perfumes, stuff like that. A lot of brands that can be using it, they don't. So subscriptions is going to be a super easy way to get recurring revenue, and you won't be starting from zero each month, right? Because last month's subscriptions are going to carry on to this month or however frequent they are. And a good thing about subscriptions is you can actually afford to lose money on the front end. So maybe your customer acquisition cost can be, let's say, for example, the same price as your product. So if you sell a product that's $50, you know, you pay $50 to acquire a customer, but then it doesn't matter because when the subscription kicks in, right, next month or maybe 3 months later, you know, some people have 90-day differences, right, between the subscriptions. When that kicks in, now all of that money is going to be profit, right? The next $50 that they spend next month is going to be all profit. So you can make a ton of money like this, and it makes it super easy to scale, right? As long as you have a good product, right, which, you know, enables you to actually have a long customer lifetime value, then this is going to work out really well. Now after that, you can also have bundles, and this is a great way to just increase the average order value, right? So from the front end, but it will cost you about the same to acquire that customer. So again, let's say you have a $50 product, right? You bundle it with another one, and now it's 75, for example. And your customer acquisition cost is, let's say, still 50, maybe it's 55, maybe it increases a slight bit, right? But now they've spent 75. So the rest of that is going to be all profit, basically. So if it's going to cost you around the same to acquire that customer, you might as well just get them to spend more. Now, if you really want to improve your profit margin, what you can do is you can actually combine them both. So you can actually have a bundle as a subscription. Now, of course, it's going to be very product dependent, and some products you just can't do this, right? Some products you can't even do subscriptions. Bundles is going to be a bit more lenient. But if you have a product where you can combine having bundles and also having, you know, subscription on top of the bundles, where I've seen a drink brand do this, I think it was Olipop or something like that, but they have bundles as subscriptions. So per month, people get just a ton of drinks delivered to them, right? And that's going to mean your average order value is up, and you have, you know, a customer lifetime value. So basically, your ad cost really doesn't matter, right? Your ad cost can be super expensive and you're still going to be making money. So if you're improving your ads, you know, having a high average order value, and you're actually having a subscription, so, you know, you have a customer lifetime value, you're just going to be making a ton of profit. Now, a third way, which is super underrated, right, is actually having an AI chatbot and being able to actually replace most of your support team, right? You know, having a customer support team, it can be costly, And it also just requires, a lot of time and energy to manage, or, you have to hire someone else to manage that, right? But what we've done is we've actually installed AI chatbots, and for us, it resolves about 80 to 90% of customer queries. It actually leaves us with a very small customer support team, which answers, the rest, so the 10, 20, 15%, right? But the good thing about this is, right, you can actually improve this number. So each time the AI gets something wrong, right, and you have to answer, you can actually train it and let it know that, look, this is the correct answer. So the next time something along the lines of, that same question gets asked, it knows how to answer it more accurately. So what this means is, over time, this AI chatbot is probably going to get to somewhere around, 95%, right? It's going to be able to answer 95% of customer issues over time. So it gets better with time, and you don't have to pay for a whole customer support team. Now, number 4 is going to be running cold ads to listicles. Now, even to this day, people run ads, or I should say cold ads specifically, as if we're still in 2016, 2017, 2018. And that's why the ads don't work. Now, none of these really applied back then because it was, kind of new. People weren't really skeptical, right? They weren't, oh, this is just a dropshipper. They didn't have these negative connotations about, seeing e-commerce brands run ads or any business run ads, to be honest. But now that is the case, right? People are more skeptical about actually buying from anyone that runs ads, really, right? Or any brand. So running just, ads to a cold audience that doesn't know about your brand, they don't know about your product, it's not really gonna work, right? So taking those sorts of people, people that don't know about your brand, they don't know about your products, taking them directly to a sell page and just hoping they'll buy, you can see why that wouldn't work, especially now. A lot of people have been burnt by ads, right? Buying from an e-commerce brand, it's a very bad product, or they just don't get a product at all, or stuff like that, right? They have negative experiences. So you really want to actually work around that. And a good way to do this is, right, to get potential customers to actually know your brand, learn about your products, right, is going to be taking them to a blog style post where they can actually learn about your brand and your products. So some examples of, blog style things, or I should say listicles that we use is, founder stories work super well. If you have a problem solution product, you could talk about how, your kid suffered with it or you suffered with it. And that's what led you to find this, solution. Now, once people read that, they're going to understand that, oh, look, this person that owns this brand understands us, and he had this problem and he fixed it with this, and now he's helping other people fix it. So that's a really powerful one. If you can do that, if your product allows you to do a founder's story, 100% would recommend that one. Now, another thing you do is obviously top 5 reasons or top 10, a list of things. And you can also have a customer testimonial. Testimonials, sort of similar to the founder's story, but instead of you speaking about it, it's your customer or customer speaking about their results or their experience with the product. Now, this might work better than a founder story for some, right? Your customer base might prefer, a third-party person talking about your product rather than you yourself talking about your product, right? Because obviously yourself, you're going to say good things about it. So, sometimes your customer testimonial might work better, but you just have to go ahead and test these and see what works for you. But here's some examples. There's a ton more that you can do. But yeah, now number 5 is going to be adding split payment options. Now, a lot of people nowadays, especially, it's just a shopping habit. Even if they can afford, what you're selling outright, right, or multiple times over, they still prefer to split into smaller chunks, right? So then you going ahead and taking away their ability to do that, right? Being able to split into small chunks by not offering split payment options like Klarna and ClearPay, you're basically just going ahead and saying, look, I don't want you as a customer, right? You're completely alienating that segment of customers or potential customers that you could have had. Now, that was only 5 ways that you can actually go ahead and improve your profit margins. But one of the main ways that we actually go ahead and improve profit margins for our clients is by doing CRO, which stands for conversion rate optimization. And CRO is basically where we improve the conversion rate by quite a bit, which then means that with the same amount of visitors or with the same amount of traffic, so, you spending the same amount on Facebook ads, for example, if you improve your conversion rate, then you're going to make more money, right? More people are going to be buying with the exact same traffic. So you're going to be spending the same, but you're going to be making more money. So what I've done is I've filmed an entire video, right, on CRO, where I go through a real life audit, right? So each step of how we actually go ahead and improve clients' conversion rates. So if you want to see that, the video will be right there. If you have any questions of any sorts, feel free to hit me up. But that's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.